and 40 minutes of racing for the Carmel Porsche Trophy about to get underway. The red lights go out and it's a pretty even start. It looks like it was a fair start that time from Warren Allen, but it's Steve Cheetham who's got his nose in front. Grant Jackson again makes a good start. He was fast out of the blocks yesterday as well, but he can't improve on third position at the moment. Andrew Deuce in fourth place as they sweep through Clairvaux and Hawthorne for the first time then. It is the pole position car, Steve Cheetham in the lead. Andrew Deuce up the inside of Grant Jackson there on the way into the chicane, so he moves up to third place in his SP2 car. And Grant Jackson, did he make a mistake? Because he's dropped quite a long way back now in fourth position and he's under threat from the number 4 car of Rich Gravestock.
I think some of that's just the awkward line he had to take through the chicane, isn't it? And loses you a lot of time, but I think Deuce knew that was important because he got stuck behind the more powerful car yesterday, and Jackson's lost another spot as you suspected he might do, to a very good start from Rich Gravestock from 8th. He is up to 4th, but Cheetham's held on up front. He is ahead then of Warren Allen. They're spectacular this, isn't it, as they go through the Jim Clark S's and these highly powerful Porsches. But so the other Class 2 cars are a long way behind Deuce already, aren't they? So it wasn't a great start, I don't think, from Jason Pelosi. He's lost several positions, I think, in all of that. Mike Kurtler was ahead of him at least there, but then ran a little bit wide out to Sonny. It's absolutely nose to tail for the lead. Yeah, was it Allen? It is in the lead now then, ahead of Steve Cheetham in second place, so 165 ahead of 43 here. Gap back then to Andrew Deuce in third position. Grant Jackson has Rich Gravestock trying to go around the outside of him at the hairpin for fourth, and then it is Mike Kurtler that is next up, with Jason Pelosi going to try and get past him. You can see in the background of the shot there the green car getting alongside the yellow car. That's a battle for position, and indeed it's Kurtler that is able to hold on for the moment. Yes, it's very tight though, wasn't it, there, and then Will Kurtler just behind. It's very spectacular as they clobber the curbs at the through the first corner, isn't it? Like it unsettles the car quite a bit. So I'm guessing Warren Allen must have made the move into the complex, and that's when we saw them absolutely together. But he's pulling away now from Steve Cheetham, trying to put a bit of daylight between himself and his competitor before the pit stop period. And then Andrew Deuce, he's well clear now of the other boxers, isn't he? 4 seconds. That shows you how important that move was that he made on Grant Jackson. Jackson trying to come back at Rich Gravestock. That's been a good battle between those two in their Caymans. But Steve Cheetham's not allowing at this stage Warren Allen to get too far up the road. So Allen continues to lead in this 2010 car that he built 6 or 7 years ago now. And then Steve Cheetham trying to at least keep with him at this point. That's right, new livery for the leading car this year of Warren Allen. Help the team spot it coming. Seems to be the main reason, but it's that very striking and traditional motorsport Golf livery. Looks absolutely fantastic. So too does Steve Cheetham's car in second place, actually. Steve, a former Club Enduro and racer and Porsche 924 champion as well. Andrew Deuce still there in the third place. Gravestock fourth and Jackson fifth as they come over the line this time. Down towards the first corner at Clairvaux of the new lap goes that battle for fourth position, Gravestock versus Jackson, and for the final podium spot in SP1, the most powerful of the classes. Of course, they're behind one of the SP2 cars in Andrew Deuce, who's been successful so far this weekend in the SP2 class. Good battle through this pack, isn't it? You say there's 2 Caymans and then the 3 boxers. Oh, Jamie Naylor's had an accident exactly where we saw the crash yesterday in the Carmel Porter Trophy. He might have lost part of his car, but he's able to get going again, which is good really for everyone else's race. Jamie started out in Hot Hatch a few seasons ago. He's been racing his Cayman for a year or 2 now, but a bit of damage to the rear of it. We'll see if he is an early pit visitor because of that. Yeah, see if we can pick that up on the stream as well, to give you a shot of the bodywork that he's lost from the rear of the car and the wing. So we've only had less than 5 minutes of the race. Good scrap going on here for SP2 second position. Mike Kurtler's pit place is under threat there from Jason Pelosi. He looks to the outside of him around the complex. That gives him the inside line for the next element of the corner, and it might be Will Kurtler that gets past both of them here. He's trying to slot his way up the inside, but that puts him on the outside line for the hairpin. Glorious sequence of corners at the end of this lap. But yeah, it's Mike Kurtler that's lost 2 places there. 1 to Jason Pelosi.
former tin-top racer, and 1 to his son Will Kirtler. Meanwhile, side by side for 4th, Grant Jackson still holding, or getting back ahead, sorry, of Rich Gravestock there.
Yeah, they were having a similar battle than the one you were describing between the boxers. They were side by side all the way through the complex, but it's Grant Jackson who has come out on top of that battle for now. The boxers are sort of living with them as well. I see across the line Jamie Naylard is continuing on, isn't he? So he's happy that hasn't affected him too much. It's a very different type of accident he must have had compared to what we saw yesterday, although it was a very similar position to Roger Coy's accident. So 4 through to 10, so that's 7 cars, isn't it? Separated by 4 seconds.
Yeah, no, very tight in the middle of the pack, isn't it? And that's including 3 different classes, SP1, SP2 and the SP3 class leader, which remains Steve Lloyd, the 57-year-old from Brixworth, in the Force End Racing Porsche.
Yeah, Force End Racing are joining the British GT Championship this year as well, with a different model of car, but good to see one of the 750 Motor Club squad, who I think started off in the 116 trophy, moving up to one of the highest ranks of national motorsport in the country. Pelosi's caught Gravestock here, hasn't he? But he's bringing Will Kirtler with him. I guess they're pretty noticeable for their class lead, who's a long way up the road now, Andrew Deuce. So trying to get past these Caymans is going to be the next challenge for Jason Pelosi. Gravestock's got a problem, hasn't he?
Yeah.
This is his 4th race in the car this weekend. He was out in road sports as well, so this is a shame for Rich Gravestock. A new car to him this season, a car built by Cox Automotive, another 2010 model Cayman, for the driver from Southampton. He's in his 4th season of racing. Has he picked up the pace at all, I wonder? I don't think he has he?
Not
He's got
really,
several
no.
positions in all of that.
So I suspect he may be a retirement from this race before too much longer. There is Grant Jackson, the car that he was battling with not so very long ago. Then it's Pelosi and Will Kirtler next up, and then Mike Kirtler.
Will's just set the fastest lap in SP2. There's Gravestock, isn't it? So he's pulled off just out of the chicane. But yeah, so Will Kirtler is flying. He's quicker than Andrew Deuce, and maybe just a reset needed on the Gravestock car. And yeah, he's accelerating back up to speed now, isn't he? So that's good news, I think, for everyone else as well. But yeah, so Andrew Deuce leads the class by 8.5 seconds, but both Pelosi and Kirtler are either on his pace or fractionally quicker. So that is still to be contested with this longer race distance. And with all these front runners as single drivers, their pace shouldn't change, but fatigue could well come into it. And what is a pretty busy track around Croft.
Yeah, absolutely. Just completed lap number 5. Warren Allen's lead now is 2 seconds over Steve Cheetham. He's not been able to get away at a huge rate of knots here. He'll probably want a bigger lead than that going into the pit stops, just to guard against any delays in the pit window when the drivers have to make their mandatory stops.
Pelosi's done the fastest lap in SP2 now, 1:33.519. On that particular lap, 4 seconds quicker than Andrew Deuce. He needs to be, because there's that large gap to hunt down.
About 8 seconds.
Yeah, it shows how important that move that Deuce made was early on, wasn't it? When he dived up the inside of Grant Jackson into the chicane, was able to pull away on the opening laps.
Yes, if Pelosi had been able to sort of be closer to Deuce, we could have had a real good battle for the lead of Class SP2. But at the moment, Deuce is out front. There is Pelosi in the number 22 car, and he's getting away, or he has got away really from Kirtler now behind him, and is probably closer actually to Grant Jackson than he is to the cars behind him now. So he's heading in the right direction. There's about 1.5 seconds behind Jackson at the start of this lap. Jackson not in the same class as him, but of course he still needs to navigate away past him if he's going to get on terms with Andrew Deuce. We're still 6 minutes away from the pit window being opened, and I think this time actually Steve Cheetham, the race leader, is in second place, a bit closer to the race leader Warren Allen. The gap was 2 seconds. Going to have a look at what that is as they come across the line this time. Yeah, it's come down to 8 tenths, but that's because it was a slow lap for Allen rather than a quick lap for Cheetham.
Yeah, they had a lap the 9:24. Another good battle that's going on is for SP3, which I think we were catching up on the stream there briefly, because there was only 4 tenths of a second between Steve Lloyd and James Carey, although that has extended significantly. Yeah, so we were looking at Carey there. He must have made a mistake. He's lost several seconds over Steve Lloyd. So Steve Lloyd in the similar 968 has been able to pull away from Carey Jr.
And Jason Pelosi's gone faster again, hasn't he? He's done a 1:32.995 now on that lap, so he's within 0.8 of a second of the Grant Jackson car. We might pick that up in a minute, because this could be a battle for third. The leaders there, you can see going through Jim Clark-Hess is there, and he's separated by about 0.8 of a second as well, and it's a similar gap between the cars in third and fourth position, and they are just about to lap the Porsche 924 as well as they come out of Tower Bend. I can see as we're watching the leaders going through Sunny.
Yeah, I know Alan was a little wide though. It didn't really seem to affect his lap time at all. Pace through that corner, but just not the biggest grid. But there's plenty of battles out there, aren't there? After 10 minutes of racing in this, the third race of the weekend for the Carmel Porsche Trophy. But they are absolutely together now, the two leaders. Is this Steve Cheatham's endurance racing experience perhaps coming to tell? He's done a lot of races, a lot longer than this, and just able to keep that pace up all the time. He's a lot smoother than Alan was there, at least, as he hung the tail out of his Cayman and he put the power on out of the hairpin. So across the line they go, and while Steve Cheatham's doing personal best laps, Warren Allen's times aren't as good as they were earlier. So 0.7 of a second separate the top two. They're not really touching that curb now at Clairvaux, where we've seen a few sort of dramas over the course of the day. So the lead battle certainly on now between Warren Allen and Steve Cheatham.
Yeah, and the battle for fourth, Jackson versus Pelosi, the gap very similar to what it was at the beginning of the lap, still about 0.8 of a second. Of course, it's Andrew Juice between the lead battle and the battle for fourth, in third place and in the lead of Class SP2, but it's Allen still leading, Cheatham in second place here. Both of them with a fair few years of experience behind them now, but Cheatham having had that one make Porsche success back in the 90s, I guess. That was. He's been around for a while now. Turn their way through Barcroft and Sunny once again, and really Cheatham is applying quite a lot of pressure to Allen here in the lead of the race. Just watching out of our windows, Jamie Allard is still continuing on with the damage to the back of his car. So taking off the rear bumper and the rear wing, that contact with the barriers that he had on the way out of the chicane earlier on in the race. Here though, Josh, is that battle for fourth place that we've been talking about.
Yeah, so Jason Pelosi has caught Grant Jackson, and this could just hold him up in his chase towards Andrew Jude. Remember, the gap was over 8 seconds, it's less than 7 now to the class leader, so you really want to get past this Class 1 car, which is probably easier said than done really, because that car will be quicker in a straight line with the extra power. But Pelosi, the more experienced driver, not necessarily in this car, behind, has a look to the outside at the hairpin, but sort of nose is coming out the corner. That Cayman's going to be quicker down the straight. The pit window will be open in a couple of minutes' time. Perhaps that will be Jason Pelosi's opportunity to get out of this battle and to focus on catching Juice again, because he's now involved in this battle. He was a little bit slower on the previous lap.
So over the line with 2 minutes to go before the pit window opens. Oh, and Pelosi's a bit quicker through Hawthorne. He's going to get alongside as they head towards the chicane. No, he's not quite going to be able to do that. So he's just going to tuck in behind Jackson. He's going to have the run down the straight, but Jackson's car is probably a bit quicker in a straight line, and the gap of 6 or 8 car lengths that's emerged between them, which narrows, of course, under braking. Well, Kirtler was 1.9 seconds behind them at the start of the lap, and he was 2.5 seconds ahead of his father, Mike, at this stage of the race. They are in third and fourth place, respectively, in Class SP2, with Michael Goodwin in the 46 car, completing the 5 runners in that class in 8th place overall. But yeah, the gap has certainly gone out between these two now, Josh.
Yes, it looks that way, but that's really bringing Kirtler in on this lap, I would suggest, isn't it? Warren Allen's picked his pace up again. He's just done the best lap of the race, a 1:30.910. So Warren Allen pulling clear once again of Steve Cheatham heading up to this pit stop window. But I wonder if this is a better lap than Grant Jackson. What seems more likely is a slightly slower lap for Pelosi here, as he starts to come under pressure from Will Kirtler as they head off towards Clairvaux. Kirtler chasing the 23-year-old from northwest London in his 4th season of racing in this category now. And yeah, it was a personal best. It was a very good lap from Kirtler, that, a 1:33.5, and a slower lap for those 2 cars ahead, including Jason Pelosi, the 42-year-old from Essex, who's been doing some historic GT racing recently. and they turn their way up towards Tower Bend with Mike Kirkland not too far away, the 53-year-old father of William. They both started racing about the same time. They're very similarly paced, seemingly nowadays.
Yeah, had a win apiece yesterday, as it turned out. Although the first race it was a sort of final corner change. Pit window is now open, as you can see from the message on the live stream. Those of you watching on Alpha Live, as the leaders continue sort of working their way through traffic here, it is still Alan Carr leading and Steve Cheatham in second, but they've just come through to lap Jamie Naylord, so they've lapped everyone now up to and including 12th position as they go over the line. There they go, and just passing the pit window open board, so drivers can start to make their mandatory stops.
See Steve's son Joseph's watching at home on the live stream, so we all know who he'd like to see come out on top of this battle, but I'm not sure Steve got the best of the traffic there, did he, through the first sequence of corners. See if any of this battle for 4th position opt to come into the pit lane. It doesn't seem likely this time around, but maybe next time. You have to wonder if these boxes are just being held up a little bit now, because they can't get past Grant Jackson. But they are now starting to lose time. Well, I would say they were going to lose in time to Andrew Juice. We had a very slow previous lap, the class SP2 leader. A 1 minute 35 for Andrew Juice. So his lead gap within the class now is under 6 seconds. Okay, so keep chipping away. Of course, we've got the pit stops as well. That's another dynamic. There is Juice. You just saw him going through shot there. So he's just about in sight now of Jason Pelosi as Pelosi chases Grant Jackson through Tower once again. Will Kirtle having gone with him. Mike Kirtle a little bit further behind. We've had a spin up at the chicane. Is that the Goodwin car, isn't it?
Yeah, Michael Goodwin, number 46, the man from Billericay, managing director of an education company. He is continuing thereafter that momentary off at the chicane. Now here's the Jamie Naylord car, so we'll get a chance here to look at the damage to the back of that car. Look, the rear wing has gone, the rear sort of bumper section of the car has gone, but I think the scrutineer has probably had a look at that as it's gone past and is happy for that car to continue even with that damage. Yeah,
everything's sort of fallen off that's going to fall off, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is helpful from that point of view. Might not handle as well as it did earlier, but for Jamie, he can still have a race out of it. Here is this battle for 4th position. Now Andrew Juice ahead of them is for the pit lane, and just wonder if all is well with that car, because it's been off the pace over the last couple of laps, but this can be his mandatory pit stop. I wonder if the team would do any work during this pit stop for the driver who was leading SP2. Also into the pit lane, you can see there comes Mike Kirtle, the driver who was 4th within the class. So the battle continues for what is now 3rd on the road between Grant Jackson, Jason Pelosi and Will Kirtle. They were lapping in the high 33s, low 34s on the most recent lap.
Okay, so there is Pelosi in 5th position. That'll become 4th with Juice having dived into the pit lane. Still chasing after Grant Jackson there, and with Will Kirtle following him. Jackson in the number 93 car, making his way through. And there again, another look at Jamie Naylord, who's having a pretty good battle actually with the car 55, which is I think at the start of the race at least, Stuart Tanton in that one. And they're heading their way down towards the complex. Yeah, ever since Naylord got back on the track, those two cars have been running quite close together. But I don't think Tanton's been able to find a way through. They're both in the same class. They're both SP1 cars, although they are a little bit further back down the running order.
Yeah, they're right. That's right. I think both drivers still sort of finding their pace in these cars. It's Stuart Tanton's first race for quite some time, isn't it? As well this weekend. Hasn't raced for several years. The ex-RGB man.
Andrew Juice has just gone back out. I don't know if you can see how long his pit stop was, Josh, to see if it was any longer than strictly necessary.
No, it looked very good. Yesterday the Road Sport pit stops were around 1 minute 25. That was a 1:22, so if anything that was a very good pit stop.
I hope it wasn't too good.
That's right. It's 1 minute stationary, so we don't get that time, but we do get the pit in to pit out time, which we can work out if it's not a slow pit stop anyway, that's for sure. Will Kirtle, he's in now as well, so he's taken that opportunity to get out of the battle and into the pit lane, which you wonder that might be the better choice. There's Rich Gravestock. He's still behind, as you were staying after that off earlier, but he's starting to make progress, isn't he? He's into 11th position. He's caught Michael Goodwin. Actually, both these drivers have had different moments during the course of this race. A mechanical problem for Gravestock. We saw that spin for Michael Goodwin, but Rich Gravestock is a little bit quicker here, it would seem, for the driver from Southampton. Slightly more powerful car being the Cayman. But as of yet, hasn't been able to find a way past Michael Goodwin, the driver from Essex, who shares his car this weekend with Gary, but it looks like Michael's going to do all 40 minutes, so I don't think he got much of a race yesterday.
So the two of them go side by side past the old pit lane, and Gravestock goes through there, as you'd probably expect with the more powerful car. Of course, he is coming back after that slow lap when he pulled off and probably just reset something. So I suspect it was some kind of electrical issue that he faced on his car, but he's managed to get back up to speed, lapping at a representative lap time now, I think.
Yeah, so Andrew Duty's pit stop was 4 seconds, I think, quicker than Will Kurtzler, 9 seconds quicker than Mike Kurtzler, so a slow lap, pit stop for Mike, so he's lost some time. Right,
Jason Pelosi's in the pits. Now, of course, he was chasing after the Andrew Deuce car for the lead of SP2. I suspect that pretty good stop for Andrew Deuce is going to be tough to beat in the pit lane, isn't it? And 1 minute 22, I think you said it was for Deuce, and I'm not sure you could get in and out of the pits and make a 60-second stop much quicker than that.
That's right. It's really against Will Kurtzler, who was on his tail anyway, who did a 1 minute 26 pit stop, so that's sort of the aim to beat, and the in and out lap's important. Both Gravestock and Goodwin here pitting together, so they battled out on the track. They're going to battle it out on pit road now as well. Meanwhile, Warren Allen's been pulling away from Steve Cheetham. There's a 4-second gap up front. They need to pit really on the next lap or two.
Well, Warren Allen staying out this time, certainly. Steve Cheetham going to come in? Yes, he is. I can see. It looked like a relatively late decision, but he's now down the pit lane. We're watching Rich Gravestock's pit stop. He's being handed a water bottle there to get some refreshment before he gets back out into the race. In the background, you can see Jason Pelosi's team watching the countdown, and then, they've been given the OK to push the car back and get the car back into the fast lane of the pits and rejoin the race. And we'll get an update on his time in a second.
Yep, we can bring that to you. 1 minute 23, so only a second slower than Juice's time, and 3 seconds quicker than Kurtler, so he should have a bigger gap over Will Kurtler than what he did earlier.
Okay, so Jamie Naylard's coming into the pits as well with what's left of his Porsche, the number 76 car that he drives, the Porsche Cayman S. So whether there'll be any work to do on that in the pits, I'm not sure there is much. As you say, Josh said, everything that could have fallen off did. So I don't think there's any need to sort of tape anything together there, as might sometimes be the case in that situation. Crossing the line is the 27 car, which is Steve Lloyd, who is up to 4th place overall now, our SP3 leader, because he's one of, I think, only about 4 cars that's still yet to make his stop. As I say, that the number 73 car of his class rival, the Careys, that does come into pit lane.
Yeah, so we watch Steve Lloyd, the class leader, the 57-year-old from Northamptonshire. He started in the 116 Trophy a couple of years ago. Now races this 1993 Porsche 968 Club Sport.
Leader into the pits, Warren Allen in the 165 car. Not quite the last one. There's about 3 more that need to make his stop, but he's going to go into it. He was building his lead over Steve Cheetham before the stops.
Slightly slower pit stop for Cheetham, 1 minute 29, and we know you can go at least 5 seconds quicker than that. Driver change down at the Careys. I think James has got out, the 22-year-old from Essex, hands over to his dad Nick in another 1993 968 3-litre car. That one prepared by Matt Taylor. So a couple more to pit yet, isn't there? And they really need to do that on their next lap, I think. Because I think it's just a 10-minute window.
Yeah, that's right.
And Grant Jackson's just gone through to do another lap. Take the lead of the race,
but
maybe not good for his future results.
Yeah, because he's not going to get around again before the pit window closes. So if he does make the stop, it is going to be out of the window, and there will be a penalty for that. That's a 60-second time penalty plus the stop that hopefully he will make. There is Steve Lloyd coming in from the SP3 class lead in the number 27 car.
He's done it just in time, hasn't he?
Now Warren Allen, as he got out of the pit lane there, sort of really fishtailed as he got the power down. I wonder if the officials might have a look at that one, because he certainly got the power down very quickly, and the car was a bit sideways as He left the pit lane.
Pit stop time 1 minute 29.9. That's very similar, isn't it?
That's Cheatham, yeah.
29.3, 6/10 of a second was
Okay.
the difference, which not going to make a huge difference in all of that. The gap in SP2, by the way, is 8 seconds. That's the gap that Jason Pelosi's got to see if he can close in on Andrew Juice. On the next lap, we'll see if one driver is quicker than the other at this stage. So Grant Jackson is coming down towards the complex, but we are now 25 minutes into the race.
Yeah, and so the pit, open board is still being shown, and that's being taken in now.
And on our screen it's saying pit window closed.
Yeah, the pit open board is being replaced by the pit close board, which is not good news for Grant Jackson, who nevertheless dives for the pit lane, but about 19 seconds too late, I think.
Seems that way, so that probably will become a penalty, won't it, as this race goes on.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of positions in his class, I guess he might not lose any, because Gravestock was quite a long way behind. Not quite sure exactly how far behind, but he would be the next car in class. That's it when a 60-second penalty is applied, as it will be, we think.
Alan Cheatham are heading through the complex. We'll get a read on the gap for the lead to keep an eye on over the final 14 minutes of this race. Meanwhile, in SP2, Pelosi was 7/10 quicker than Juice, so that gap is coming down. It's under 7 seconds now. Again, the next time through, he's a whole second quicker, second and a half quicker. So Pelosi is really bringing the gap down to Andrew Juice in SP2. The battle between the two box to S's could come alive in the final moments of the race if he continues to close at that rate.
Two leaders are 2.8 seconds apart. Warren Allen in number 165 and Steve Cheatham in number 43. There is Cheatham just heading into the chicane. So it's not an insurmountable gap in the remaining 13.5 minutes of this race as Cheatham clears the back marker and heads down towards Tower.
Massive lap from Jason Pelosi. He's just on a 1 minute 32.490, and that was 1.6 seconds quicker than Andrew Juice on that lap. So the gap's just over 5 seconds now in the SP2 battle. And Jason Pelosi, I think, has got the hang of this box to S now.
So another 3 laps like that, and he'll be with him. And there is clear track at the moment, at least, between those two cars, as I can see from our commentary position. There we're watching, though, Steve Cheatham, and I think he might be getting a bit close to Warren Jackson this time, was it? Now we're having a look at the Careys. We think it's Nick Carey now in the car, number 73.
He's not that far behind Steve Lloyd. Looks like the gap might have come down a little bit between the 968s during the pit stop process.
Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it? But they are soon to be lapped, both of those, by the race leaders, who are definitely more or less than 2.8 seconds behind now.
Both the pit stops of the 968s was slow. 1 minute 38 for Lloyd, 1:31 for Carey. So Carey's pit stop, although slower than most others, was still 7 seconds quicker than their class rivals. That means the gap within that class has come down to 4 seconds.
The gap for the lead has come down by a second that time. It's 1.7 seconds now, as number 43, Steve Cheatham, chases after Warren Allen in the 165 car. Meanwhile, that is Mike Kirtland. He is behind there, the car of Grant Jackson. There's a lap between those. No, there won't be a lap between those cars now, will there?
No, I think it's because Jackson was just ahead of Kirtland when he came in the pits. So his pit stop was exactly a lap in race time. Andrew Juice has just done a personal best, and that's important for him, a 1 minute 33.4, and that's what Pelosi did that lap time too. He has gone quicker than that, significantly quicker before, but not on that particular lap. So the gap remains at 5.4 seconds.
So yes, this on screen is the fight for 5th position at the moment, although we reckon that Grant Jackson will get, or 6th position I should say, we reckon that Grant Jackson will get a penalty though for an out of sync pit stop. As Mikey Kirtland looks as though he's going to try and make a move there at Clervaux, but he elects not to do so. Leaders getting ever closer as through the complex. There is Warren Allen, but right behind him he's got Steve Cheatham now, who's just cleared the Carey 968. So the gap that was 1.7 might have come down by another couple of tenths this time, I reckon. It is now 1.2, so it's come down by half a second. Again, slow laps on both of them as they've been navigating their way past that traffic, but we could yet have a grandstand finish on our hands here, Josh.
Yes, I don't think that'd be the case in SP3 though, because Nick Carey's not quite as quick as his son, so therefore Steve Lloyd is pulling clear in that battle between the two 968s. although it got quite close after the pit stops. But you can take much closer for the leaders now. Warren Allen versus Steve Cheatham. Allen's got the raw pace, but Cheatham's a bit sort of closer to his best time on his average pace, and Warren Allen's a bit more sideways more regularly, it feels like, as he was there through Tower Bend. Meanwhile for SP2 a similar situation is going on, because it's with 1.3 seconds that Pelosi closed in on Juice last time, so the gap's down to 4 seconds. The leaders, they've got quite a bit of traffic coming up.
They have. Could this be crucial? Certainly, Warren Allen has got past one of those cars there, but Steve Cheatham's able to do so as well. So that's worked out for him. They've now got to try and get past Steve Lloyd as they head towards the complex. Or is that going to happen before they get there? It is in the case of Warren Allen. Is it going to be the case in the case of Steve Cheatham? Yes, it is, and that means that they're nose to tail now, the two leaders, as they come into the complex on lap 19 of the race. It's been building up this race very nicely to hopefully a fight to the checkered flag between these two. Out of the hairpin they come once again, and 1.2 seconds is now going to be about half a second or so, I think, as they cross the line. That's almost exactly half a second between the two of them. Again, slower lap times because there was traffic to deal with, but Warren Allen now under a lot of pressure now in the 165 leading car from number 43 Steve Cheatham.
Yeah, well, that traffic isn't complete yet, is it? There's a couple more cars to do shortly, so that could change things as well. There's the Lodge Sports Racing Cayman of Steve Cheatham powering out of the chicane. Blue flags are waved at Jamie Naylard, who is going to be the next car to lap. Also blue LED light panels as well. Naylard stays to the left. He noticed what was going on very well indeed there, and that hasn't really changed the scope in the leading battle. Interestingly, in SP2, Pelosi does one lap that's really quick to close in, and then Juice on the next lap can equal him, so then the gap stays static. So we'll see what happens next time. 4.2 seconds remains the gap. Pelosi might be starting to run out of time now. Yeah,
they're half a minute as well behind the two leaders, but of course they are the leaders in SP2. So order with 8 minutes to go is 165 Warren Allen leading, 43 Steve Cheatham second, 8 Andrew Juice third, 22 Jason Pelosi fourth, 32 Will Kirtler fifth, 72 Mike Culler into sixth place now ahead of Grant Jackson. He's just done that. 93 Grant Jackson is seventh, 4 Rich Gravestock eighth, 27 Steve Lloyd ninth, 73 Nick Carey is 10th, with the car of Aidan and Andrew Crockett in 14th position, the only SP4 entry.
Over the course of this weekend, Warren Allen's absolutely smashed the previous lap record of Christian Walker. He's about a second quicker, I think, yesterday, and he's almost replicated that again. So the pace is very quick this weekend here at Croft in this series. 0.6 of a second remains the gap. Now the Crockett car, they're going to go around the outside of. Allen was a bit sideways there, so could that give Steve Cheatham the opportunity? He's got to take a wider line into the chicane. I think that might well help Allen ahead of him. So Warren Allen stays in front, but there's still another car at least to find a way past before this race is done.
That's absolutely right. What's going on with Pelosi and Kirtler? Juice, I beg your pardon. 4 seconds is the gap. It went out by... No, it went in by a tenth that time, so it is remaining pretty static.
Yeah, he needs to
between those two,
really, doesn't he, at this point?
60-second time penalty for Grant Jackson is confirmed for stopping outside of the pit window as well. I can see on my screen. So that will drop him back down the order. It will drop him behind Gravestock, won't it, as well now, because there's only 24 seconds between them.
Yeah, that's right. Gravestock's had enough pace, it would seem, but that's not going to affect him. There is Jason Pelosi, the Essex-based man, but it's pretty close for the lead again, and they're going to have to lap Gravestock here. That could save Jackson if he doesn't get lapped, couldn't it? In all of this, if Gravestock does, which it looks like he might well do. So these cars aren't going to be significantly quicker than Rich Gravestock, but Gravestock's going to put aside and let them through, I think.
I think he might have a problem again, actually, because he's gone quite a lot slower than he might have been expecting to. We'll see if he's able to continue or not. He is continuing, but at reduced speed. Confirmation now on screen of that Grant Jackson penalty as well for missing the pit window. 7 tenths of a second between Warren Allen and Steve Cheatham as they went over the line. That was to complete lap number 21. There's just under 6 minutes of the race left to go now. in this third and final Carmel Porsche Trophy race of the weekend. There in the background of shot you could just see the Rich Grave stock car again stopping on the apron of the old pit lane just after the chicane. Is he going to be able to sort of reset it again and get going? Yes, he is. He's back into the race once more. So an intermittent problem for Rich Gravestock. There he is on his way once more.
That's the modern race car fix, isn't it? To sort of reset everything, and that clears it at least for a while. So that means everyone else can continue racing, and he's found a good spot to safely park the car, hasn't he? And then he's realised there's a battle that comes up to him, although a couple of cars actually not on the same lap. Andrew Juice has just done a PB, which is very good news for his lead. A 1 minute 33.216 for Andrew Juice, so he's now 4.5 seconds ahead of Jason Pelosi. So it would appear for our SP2 leader, the 46-year-old Andrew Juice from Berkshire, he's set for a triple class victory this weekend.
And there's the Jamie Naylard car, and he has got the Carey car with him, trying to overlap him by the looks of things as they go into the complex that time. Got they're just behind Michael Goodwin and Rich Gravestock on the road. Watching this scrap down the order. Just checking out my window. Yeah, it is still Warren Allen leading from Steve Cheetham as well. Here's Michael Kurtler, number 72. I've still got Grant Jackson behind him, but Jackson, of course, does have that 1 minute penalty to be added to his race time. So this isn't really a battle for position, as it were. Michael Kurtler, how far is he behind his lad now? He's about 10 or 11 seconds behind Will, isn't he? He's had a much stronger race than his father this time around.
Andrew Juice got caught up in a bit of traffic, the traffic that Pelosi's dealing with now, so the gap is under 3 seconds. Depends how much Pelosi really got caught up there behind Stephen Dean, who's moved across from Sports 1000 this weekend to race in the Porsches. Yeah, I think it probably held Pelosi back as much as it did Juice on the previous lap, so that for now is probably good news for the class leader, but there is probably going to be a bit more traffic to deal with for those. Indeed there is, before the race is done. So Andrew Juice just going through the S's now, has this lead of 3 or so seconds within the SP2 class for these Porsche Boxsters. Juice in his 4th season in this car now, the ex-Charles Clark Boxster from the Club Championship a few seasons ago. Before that, driving now with Races GT3 machinery. But Andrew Juice driving this car really well, as he has done so often, continues to lead by 3 seconds or so, but is now back in traffic again.
Meanwhile, the leaders are on the anti-penultimate lap, Allen and Cheetham, with about a second between them now, so the gap has gone back out again between those two. A bit of a sideways moment for Carey just in front of Andrew Juice, who is still very much aware of Jason Pelosi behind him. What's the difference in the lap times that time around? Pelosi 2/10 slower, so the gap is 3.2 seconds now between Juice in the lead of SP2 and Pelosi in second place. But we're watching the overall leaders head on the stream into Sunny Inn. This is on lap 23, lap 24, I should say, for what I think is going to be a 26 lap race. And Allen just looking a little bit more comfortable than he was a couple of laps ago. Possibly he's been able to stretch his legs a little bit, just heading into the complex now. I say that, and Cheetham's back with him again. So
he was pretty bold into the complex there with Cheetham. He got the car slowed down and brought that gap right back down again for the final 2 laps, it would appear. So they will accelerate up across the line, back together again. So was that Allen sort of holding back, or was Cheetham in a very good lap? It was a very good lap. It was a personal best lap for Steve Cheetham, a 1 minute 31.4. Again, he brakes really late. They've got the 9:24 to lap of Andrew Crockett, the newcomer from Northamptonshire, and he pulls to side, but that doesn't help Warren Allen at all, really, because Steve Cheetham's almost alongside him. He decides, I think, at that point of the lap, probably best not to get the overlap, and we'll try again in a bit.
Yeah, well, this is now the last lap but one of the race. And Cheetham here setting that personal best time very late on in the race when he really needs to. Of course, he won the second race yesterday on correct times after a 10-second jump start penalty was applied to Warren Allen. So I think Cheetham would like to get another win, but this time take the checkered flag first as well. It's not beyond the bounds of possibility. Through this part of the circuit, Alan seems to be a little bit quicker. It's into the complex again when the gap comes down slightly. Into Sunny in for the penultimate time in this race. Cheetham carries good speed on the exit, and is he going to again be able to be bowled into the complex and reduce that gap? The answer to that question is yes, he is, it would seem, because they're closer as they come into the complex for the penultimate time, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, very strong on the brakes is Steve Cheetham in that car at this point of the race, where the brakes have taken a lot of work around this Croft circuit over the last 25 laps. So the 40-minute race has been the closest one, hasn't it? The longest race of the weekend has been the most competitive up front. Alan is a little bit off the pace. He's in the 32s now. Of course, they did have that 9:24 to lap at the start of the lap, which might have slowed his lap time a little bit. I don't think they're going to have any more traffic, so that's not going to be a factor for the top two drivers who will turn their way out of Hawthorn through the chicane. And at this point of the lap, this is where Warren Allen always seems to pull away, but right at the end of the lap, the heartbreaking zones, perhaps, is where Steve Cheetham can fight back.
Yep, so a bit of a gap between them as they head down towards Tower. You think it's going to be a move through the complex hill, the hairpin, if Steve Cheetham is going to win this race. He's 8 car lengths behind at the minute as they head out of Tower into the Jim Clark S. Is the left and right flick for the final time. Then it's to the right-hander at Barcroft, and then the double apex right-hander at Sunny. I think Cheetham is a bit further back this time.
Something to consider is that Pelosi has got within a couple of seconds of Andrew Juice now. You can see that, I think, on the inset. Gap is coming down, maybe a little bit too late for Pelosi.
Meanwhile, Cheetham is still chasing after the Gulf liveried car of Warren Allen, but he's not as close as he's been on previous laps. Again, he's fairly bowled into the complex, though not bold enough to get up onto the inside, into the second element of it. So it's the hairpin or nothing, and he's probably a little bit too far back there unless he can get a cut back on the exit of the corner and get the power down more effectively, which I don't think he can. So out of the hairpin come, checker flag awaits, and it's Warren Allen that wins for the second time this weekend in the Carmel Sport Trophy. The gap at the end of 26 laps of racing, half a second.
Traffic for Andrew Juice there at an awkward place at Barkov. Jason Pelosi's almost with him now. If he's going to make the pass, he's got about one go at it, hasn't he, Pelosi? Remember, this gap was 8 seconds, and it's been a real chase for the former Stock Catch and Clio racer. Down into the complex they've come. They've got a bit of traffic as well that might become a factor.
Yeah, they have, and it's Deuce in the number 8 car. It's Pelosi in 22, the green machine. He's not been on terms with Deuce all race long. The car in front locks up. Does that cause a distraction? Deuce has got his car up on the inside of it. Pelosi, I don't think he's able to capitalise on all of that. He's going to be within about 2 or 3 car lengths in the end as the checkered flag goes out. The gap between them for what is actually 3rd and 4th overall, as well as second place or winning the SP2 class, it was only about half a second. So the win went to Warren Allen, second Steve Cheetham. Andrew Juice was 3rd overall in winning SP2, with Jason Pelosi half a second behind him. And we're still waiting for Will Kirtler to come through, aren't we? Though he's really dropped back quite a long way from Pelosi, as Pelosi was involved in that chase. But Kirtler's going to come through to take 5th and they complete the podium in SP2.
The car that locked up, which was happening quite a lot towards the end of the race, was Steve Lloyd, who did bring his car home as the SP3 winner, but in significantly reduced speed. I think he's got a significant braking issue that was causing all of that towards the end, but he did bring home the class win in the end.
He did. So everyone has managed to get home. I think everyone that started that race did indeed get to the finish as well, which was great to see. And it was quite entertaining. A battle for the win. Not quite a battle, but an intriguing plot for the SP2 victory as well. Here are the results then at the end of 26 laps of racing. Warren Allen 165 took the win by 0.530 seconds from number 43 Steve Cheetham. In 3rd place, number 8 Andrew Juice, winner of SP2 from 22 Jason Pelosi. 5th was number 32 Will Kirtler. 6th was number 72 Mike Kirtler. 7th was number 93, which was Jackson. 8th was number 4 Rich Gravestock, despite his couple of stops along the way. 9th and winning the SP3 class was number 27 Steve Lloyd. 10th was the 46 car of Michael Goodwin. Then the Careys, James and Nick, were 11th. Jamie Naylard was 12th, despite his off into the barriers at one point. Stuart Tanton and Stephen Dean were 13th, and the winners of SP4, albeit 6 laps down on the overall winner, were the Crockett's Aidan and Andrew. So that brings to an end the Porsche action for this weekend. They are back out at Donington Park on the National Circuit on the 30th of May and the 31st of May. Then it's Sutton, Brands Hatch, Silverstone and Thruxton to round out the season. Let's head down to the pit lane now, and Tom Butterworth with our winners.
Well, welcome back down to the pit lane. A few drivers just exchanging views at the end of that. Of course, very close between Warren and Steve during that one. We'll just wait until he gets his helmet off. Beautiful Golf liveried Porsche, fresh livery for this weekend. We talked about that yesterday, didn't we? Right, so the history books are going to show that, you know, that was fairly comfortable in victory, but I think the stream, if people check that back, they're going to see something completely different. It looked a very tough day at the office.
Well, I knew I really wanted to push on the first lap, and I got him on the first lap, and I was making a bit of a gap to him, and then we started to get some traffic, and then traffic comes, and it just, every time I came to someone, it pushed me into him. And but do you know what? I really enjoyed that. He was on me the last half of the race. He was just with me all the way. It was good fun. Where is he? Good.
He's just over there. But yeah, no, it was great action.
Well done, Steve.
We were very much enjoying that one. Very much.
Yeah, I had a good day as well.
Great stuff. All right. Well done, Warren.
Can I quickly just say big hello to Charlie and Megan,
which he has done. We're going to have a chat with Andrew Juice as well. Andrew, again, another one who taking class victory in SP2, but another one who really had to work hard for that one.
Hello, Tom.
Hello.
I'm tired. Do I look it?
No, you look like Andrew.
That was hard work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't quite enough fuel, or as much fuel in my car as normal, so that it was on the red for the last 2 laps, and I was very nervous about fuel starvation. Pelosi, as you might have seen, who's in our team, first time he's driving his car was closing on me. He was bit between the teeth, getting on me, and I was trying to do my best laps, best sectors, and there was back markers. There was a lot going on. That was I'm relieved.
Good. I mean, you look relieved, but yeah, it was pretty close as that one. So, but obviously, very happy with the result.
Yeah, most definitely. Car was absolutely fantastic. Cops Automotive, who sponsor the series, look after this car. They are the best. The boys are fantastic. Yeah, really happy with it. I just want to shout out, if I can, to my lovely, long-suffering wife, Jo, who hasn't seen me for the whole weekend because I've been dicking about in cars, and my lovely daughters, Lily, Rosie and Iris. Because I know they're watching live. I bet they're not, and I'm going to force them to watch it back.
Great stuff. Well, we will thank you, and we will hand over very quickly because they're already on the grid for the VSG Crypto Clio Sport Championship, which is coming up right now.